Everyone. In this video, we will learn about functions using our Jupyter Notebook. Function is a concept in Python, which are also named set of statements that are executed, um, and sometimes inputs may be passed to the function, and function may return a value. So, function is basically a set of statements. So, after execution, those set of statements are supposed to form some sort of output as per the user need. So what is the syntax of a function? So there is a function definition which is to be appended with a def keyword, any function name as per the choice of user. Then the inputs are the parameters required and the statements that you need to execute in that function. Then see, automatically this definition is not executed until and unless the function is to be called by this way, the same function name with the arguments. So when the function is called, the value of argument 1 is passed to parameter 1 in the definition, value of the argument 2 is passed to the parameter 2, and so on. So I'm going to show you some of the example using the concept of function. So see, this is a function definition. Def keyword, function name is describe, and the parameter name is x. And the set of statements, there are two statements or instructions. So which is typing the which is printing the type of the argument x that is passed to the function definition, and the value itself. So let me first run the code. So it doesn't do anything directly. So it doesn't invoke the function definition directly unless it is called. So how to call it? Use the function name and the value in this way. So when you pass the value that is to be caught by this function definition, and the x is to be um, assigned with the value of 4. And when I run this code describe 4, it will give us the type as int because x value is 4, which is integer type, and the value also printed in this way. Now let's say I will run the statement describe allow. So what will happen then? When I run it, it will call the function and move on to the definition, and hello will be passed as the value to the x. And as this is a type, what is a data type here? That is string. So that's why the type is printed as class string, and the value is printed as the value itself that is being passed to the function, which is hello. So here you got a simple example. While it shows the use of function. Now parameters. So what are these parameters? So when a function is called, its inputs are passed as parameters to the function, which are defined in the function header. So this is our function definition, and to invoke this function, we need to call the function like this, and the parameter that is passed, it goes on and to be called by the function definition here. So can the function have multiple parameters? Okay, yes, it's possible. So let's see one example. So def function name, print name, and two arguments passed that are first and last, and we just want to print them. So let's run this code. And now print name will call Amy and Stevens. So when we run the code, the first will print Amy, last will print Stevens. So like this, we can pass multiple arguments. So using the concepts above, try to solve this exercise. Write a function called print_info that has three parameters: Amy, Stevens, 20. So when you call the function, there you need to write a function definition which should be printing this statement: Amy Stevens is 20 years old. So how to achieve this? So type your code in here and then run it and see whether you are getting this output or not. There is another form of use of function, that is functions return value. So what is this? So rather than having simple statements inside the function body, definition body, you can have the return statement like this. So let's say you want to add two numbers. So therefore you have created a function called add, passing two arguments, and any value the x and y will have, they will just add together and that will be returned to the function. So let me run the code. I ran it. Now I will move on to the function definition. So what it will do when we invoke this code add of 5 7, so what it will do, so add function is called, it moves on here, it returns x plus y, that is 5 plus 7, and that is returned to the function itself in here and then assigned to sum. Then when you print the value of sum, it directly prints 5 plus 7, that is 12. This is how the return statement is used. The next is dynamic typing. So dynamic typing is a programming concept where object's type is not determined until the program runs. So let's see one example. So Python uses x equals to 4. So a value of any type can be assigned to x. We are not determining whether 4 is integer or something else. And in Java programming, it uses in this format. First, you need to mention what is the type of the x. So dynamic typing allows the Python programming to be more flexible in behavior. We don't have to mention what type of value you want to assign to a particular variable. So let's execute this add 5 7. So it adds the 5 and 7 together. So when I run the code, see what happens. It moves on to the function definition wherever it will find it inside the script, and it will print 12 here. So now when I call add hello and world, what happens then? When we do this, so it moves on here and it just adds them together. That's why they are added and formed in this way. It will just concatenate or join both of the strings together. Now let's say we have two lists, 1, 2 and ABC as L1 and L2. Let's say you want to add these two lists together. So let's run this code. So when you do that, just to one list, another one list is appended to the end of the first list. Let's say you want to add a string and a number. What happens then? Is it possible? So when I run the code, so it's a type error because string is hello and 4 is a integer. Any string cannot be added to an integer. It's impossible. That's why it is giving this type error. Why should we use function? Okay. Actually, it's for readability and for modular design of the code. So let's see one exercise. So what are you supposed to do here? Okay, so here you are supposed to have this function definition, get user input message, which gets a positive integer from the user. Okay, and so so this is the first number, this is the second number to be imported from the user, and okay, so actually this is not defined. You need to complete this get user input function definition. So you need to write some statements here so that when you add both of them through this add function, it should be able to add them together and print the value in this way as a print statement. So this is something that you need to complete it here. Now let's say there is another one exercise also about the leap year. So using this code, okay, using this loop, you have already learned what is a loop, how to implement it, correct? So using this loop, you have to determine a year is a leap year or not. So first you need to find out what is the logic for the leap year. Okay, then using that you can use place the statements and instructions of that logic inside the function definition. Now scope. So scope refers to the variable's area in which it is being declared. So in which area it is accessible and it exists as well. So here this is a function definition, my function, and the variable is assigned one variable, my variable assigned to hello, and it is supposed to print it in this way. Okay, simple print statement. So I will run the code, then I will call the function. So what will happen then? It will just assign hello to my variable and print it in this way. In the function, my variable equals to my variable value, that is hello. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let's say I will try to access the value of the my variable. Okay, so can I write like this? And what do you think about it? Mm, should it print hello or not? Let's run. So when I run, so see, it's saying name of my variable is not defined. Why does it say like this? Because the my variable is local to this function definition. Its area is now only confined to the function definition or inside the function definition body. So outside of it, it is not accessible. So this is called function scope. So if you declare the my variable outside the function somewhere, then you will not be getting this output of name error that you are having right now. You can try this yourself also. Okay, so here let's see one example. So we have the main function definition. X is assigned to 5 and then there is a print statement. Then x is defined as 4, assigned as 4, a print statement, then my function is called, and then print statement is called. Let me run the code. So what happens? First x is assigned to 4. It's accessible to the whole area because, and here see, x equals to 4 is not inside the function definition or not enclosed in something. So that's why it is accessible globally. And so that is why it is printing the statement with the value of 4. Now when it calls the my function, what happens then? It moves on here, assigns it to 5 and then prints the statement as x equals to 5. But when you are done with this, so we should come to the next line printing this one. So after function x, as you see, x value is always already changed to 5, right? So why is it printing the value of x as 4? Because 5 is local to the function definition. It is not accessible throughout the script. That is why. That is why it is printing the global variable x value as 4. That is global, accessible everywhere inside the code or the script. Okay, so likewise, while specifying a tuple, parentheses are optional. So when you run the code, you don't need the parenthesis, it automatically adds the parenthesis to it. So my additional example, um, so the body of a function can only contain any valid code, including branches or any loops, whatever you like. The function cannot directly return more than one value. Okay. However, a function can return multiple values using a tuple or a list. Okay. If you want to return multiple values, you need to have a tuple or a list together. Let me run the code and let's run this. What happens then? Let's say I will enter 5, second number 4, and let's see what is happening here. So first get two numbers function is called. That is why it asked me to enter two numbers 5 and 4 like this, and the num1 num2 are returned to get two numbers function, and this is assigned to the numbers. So see, there is a print blank line is printed. Now you enter the number. So what happens then? You know, 5 and 4 as are returned both together from the function definition as a tuple. So when you do that, like in this way, okay, with the brackets, it will add the brackets around both of the elements, and the first element is entered in this way. If you print the tuple numbers of 0, it will print the first one. Numbers of 1 is 4 and it will print 4. So this is all about functions.